We're here with Bill Hemmer at Fox News in New York. Thanks for joining us.
Great to be with you, Howard. Nice to see you again.
Another 4 years of Barack Obama. For the press, isn't this story not as exciting as if we had a new president, a new administration?
I don't think so, because I find that the issues that were debated up until this election are still with us. And now there's some significant questions as to how these issues are still resolved. They're still there. You could argue that the issues in 2010, unemployment, jobs, the economy, tax reform, health care, they were all on the line in 2010, and with the exception of health care, I would say that they're still out there today. However, the implementation of Obamacare is something that will be a story to watch, not just now, but also into 2014 when it's fully implemented.
You used to co-anchor the morning show with Megyn Kelly. She was holding down the fort on election night, getting a lot of favorable attention. So I'd like to see your former partner become a rising star.
I think she's done an outstanding job. And, listen, Megyn she's got it all, and she's super smart, and she loves what she does. And I think what I have found is that is always a major component in order for an anchor or a reporter to get through the long slog of big stories, which we just went through, and that's the election.
Right. She handled the moment that she called awkward when Karl Rove objected to the Fox News projection that Obama had won Ohio and thus the presidency. That was what did you make of that whole byplay?
Well, I tell you, I'm the county man, so that's my job on the billboard. And through research and going out to the battleground states over the past 6 months, you learn an awful lot about the country and where the votes are, frankly. And our decision desk, which is enormously talented and smart, it came down to this, Howard. They saw more votes in Cuyahoga County, Cleveland, Ohio, that Barack Obama was going to get eventually that would be greater than the margin that Mitt Romney could gather. What Rove was arguing at the time is that he was not arguing that Mitt Romney is going to win Ohio. He just felt at that point there were 4 significant Republican counties, some of which had only reported half their votes, and they are Hamilton County, Cincinnati, Ohio, Butler County, Warren County, then Delaware County, north of Columbus.
But you're a TV guy. Was it strange, or was it weirdly compelling to have a prominent Fox News commentator taking issue with the Fox News decision desk?
Well, who described it as awkward?
Megyn.
Megyn did. I thought the way we handled it was absolutely spot on, and here's why. Viewers at home have no idea what's happening behind the scenes.
So you had a chance to
for
explain
how we are able to make decisions and calls. You can follow your email or your Twitter feed, Howard, and viewers will write to you all over the country and say, how in the world can you project Connecticut when only 2.5% of the vote's in? Well, you can do it based on history. You can do it when you have a good, solid team that has a track record of never making a mistake.
What do you make of the whole, look, this is still a pretty polarized country. This was a close election, even though the swing states went Barack Obama's way. What do you make of the whole dynamic where MSNBC often appears to be rooting for the president? And some critics said that Fox seemed a little subdued on election night.
What I find stunning, Howard, is that if you go over the past 20 years of national elections, 1996 and arguably 2008 were the exceptions, not the rule. But look what happened in 2000, 2004.
Very close.
And now 2012 is arguably very close too in the popular vote. It is a polarized nation, and that's what, we don't have wars. We don't have protests.
Is it a polarized cable landscape?
We barely have rallies.
Is it a polarized cable
votes.
landscape?
I think if you, as a viewer today, are smart about what you do, you will watch everyone. And then you can make up your own mind about how you feel about each issue. I tell you one thing that I don't think has been covered enough, but will, and perhaps is giving you a story idea here. I've been to the battleground states. I've been in Ohio twice in the last 8 days before
You're from
the
Ohio.
election. Yeah, and I spent 2 days with Speaker Boehner there. Here's what I found, is that the Obama folks did not fold the tent in 2008. They didn't have a full operation in places like Ohio, but they had satellite offices that were keeping in touch with their voters.
They were worried about 2012.
And looking for new voters, and they went to full strength a year ago. The Republicans in Ohio were not at 100% until mid-September. They were 10 months behind.
You'll understand this as a TV guy. We only have a minute.
Yes.
Being up here in New York reminds me the crippling after effects of Hurricane Sandy. Where were you when the storm hit?
I was in I was in Ohio, actually. I was trying to get a flight back out of Cincinnati. There was no chance. Trying to get a flight out of Columbus. We stayed a couple days because there was a component of the storm that was affecting the election. Ultimately, ended up driving home from Columbus, Ohio, 565 miles to the Lincoln Tunnel in 7 hours and 50 minutes, and I thanked every state trooper in Pennsylvania who allowed me to drive by.
They couldn't keep you away.
That's how I got home. And I tell you, there's so many people, as you know, throughout the New York and New Jersey area, our colleagues, our friends, who are still suffering a great deal, and that's going to continue for weeks.
Yeah, and that should remain a national story as well. Bill Hemmer, thanks very much for
Howard,
coming back to New York.
Great to see you again.
Sitting down with us here at Fox News.